Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrian Igo. Adrian Obi. Either way is fine. Adrian Igo, Adrian Obi. They're both me, I guess. And I'm with Astrology, a look inside. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm coming to you with the mid-month readings that I have for the signs of Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. I have been at this all day. I started earlier, and I had to take a Benadryl. I had a reaction to something I ate. So let's go ahead and get this started. I am raring to go. I've had my rest, and I've got some tea with me, and we're going to get this done today. Okay, so let's look at Leo. Leo, my wonderful Leos. There's a lot of emphasis this month for you Leos on the 8th house, ninth house, and 10th house. That is actually that third quadrant, that which is actually good. You're almost on the rise. You're pretty much you're going toward your rise right now. And what I mean by that means that the sun is above the horizon and it's climbing toward the 10th house. That's always a good sign, and that's good for you Leos. Right now, the emphasis is in your solar 8th house, and that's in the sign of Pisces. It's not really a good place for the sun to be for Leo. And so you might feel that because the 8th house is the natural house of Scorpio. And there's probably been a lot of deep internal investigations going on with you Leos during the month of March, because it's a deep internal type of hidden self-motivation type of house, the 8th house. It deals with a lot of subconscious motivations, just like the 12th house does. It's a water house, and you're a fire sign. I hope I'm making myself clear. Water puts out fire. Okay, just so you know, this might not be your best month, right? Because all that fire that you guys love, you're not really feeling that right now with the water putting out your fire. So just be aware of that. There was a new moon on the 6th. So over the next couple of, you've got maybe not much longer, about a week left of dealing with this. And then we're going to have a full moon, which will be in Libra. And that is going to add some flame to your fire. And I think you'll feel a lot better after the 20th of the month. Right now, though, you are dealing with that 8th house emphasis with that sun in the 8th house and Neptune in the 8th house and Mercury retrograding in the 8th house. And when Mercury is retrograding in the 8th house, in the house, that's the house of like your partner's money or other people giving you money, you might be having some issues with getting money or payment from people right now. You might have people that owe you right now and have not paid you for some reason. And so that could be some emphasis on that this month. I would just take a couple of deep breaths and, just deal with it as peacefully as possible. Also, it does indicate that there could be people coming to you with their secrets and their all the deep hidden stuff that they've got going on, and they're turning to you for that. So be aware that could also happen. But don't betray your friend's trust if someone does come to you with their deep personal secrets. Okay. Now, Chiron is an Aries that's in your 9th house. It's saying that the area of the 9th house is an area that you need to heal. And this could be a legal issue. This could be a political issue. It could be a issue that has to do with your in-laws or has to do with education. So if you're someone who's had some shame even or pain because of a lack of education or feeling that you don't have, like, say, your degrees or your certifications or something, might highlight this right now. Chiron going through that house, and maybe it'll spur you on to heal that in some way, perhaps in doing something where you feel that you can get that education that you need or that information that you desire. It could also signify a time of healing your deepest philosophies, what you believe in life, and you could be changing your dogma and healing that area. Like, say, for instance, and not saying it's true, but let's say you were racist, right? Because this kind of equality thing is indicated here. It's a natural Saggy house. But now with Chiron here in Aries, you might be reconsidering that. The sun is going to be in Aries on the 20th when that full moon is in Libra. And so this third house, ninth house opposition could play out. That could be a communication issue about these subjects like racism, politics, legal issues, education, dogma, relationships with your in laws, traveling, issues with traveling, pain with that. All of that is going to be coming into play, and it could indicate, it come through with communication. That could be letters, calls, emails, snail mail, any of that. Okay, so be aware of that. Mars and Uranus are in your 10th house, and that tends to make your career a little weebly wobbly with Uranus entering into that area. I would be very cautious, although you can be brilliant, come up with amazing ideas. You are the go-to guy. You're really, with Uranus there, it could indicate some changes that you weren't expecting and that you're not necessarily happy with. So be aware of that. Mars there, however, does make you a go-getter, and it does make you active, and it makes you push in your career. And as a result, you may achieve some amazing things in your career. And so I hope that works out for you. I would use that full moon on Libra to put some fire in your sails, some air under your wings, and get your communication off the ground. If you're working on a big project, and you've got big communication like written reports or speech or anything like that, that full moon in Libra on the 20th is going to set that off for 2 weeks, well into April. So good luck, Leo. Next, we're going to be talking to Virgo. Hello, Virgo. And get some tea here. Virgo, you got an amazing month coming. And I'll tell you why it's so amazing. One of the main reasons why it is so amazing, you've got Venus that's sitting in Aquarius in your 6th house of work. I think whenever Venus is in the 6th house of work, it just adds pleasantness to work, to whatever you're doing that has to do with work. Also, your health is an issue, and you might have experienced a little bit of sudden weight gain, Virgo. This is because Venus is in the 6th house, and it's saying, Venus is indulgence. It's decadence, actually. And so I can see where you Virgos may have been indulging a little much, maybe a little too much. And so take this month to maybe clear that out. But it's pleasant, Venus is pleasant. And so it just may be too many sweets or too many goodies or overeating in some way. So if you fix that, you can heal that. You'll be beautiful. You'll heal your health. It's a good thing. Enjoy it while you have that. And it's going to be in the 6th house till near the end of the month when it goes into Pisces. Now, speaking of Pisces, there is a lot of emphasis in Pisces in the month of March because, well, March is Pisces month. And this month has been a very Piscean month. Right now, and even as I give this reading, Mercury is retrograding in the sign of Pisces in your 7th house of partnerships, retrograding. What I would do if I were you, I would use this time, Virgo, to go back over and review and renew old partnerships. And here's the thing. Old partnerships may be reaching out to renew with you. Are you ready for that? I'll give you an example. My daughter is a Virgo, and she has someone that she dated 10 years ago who has not let go. And she's married and has been married for many years. And that just shows how sometimes Mercury makes you remember and revive and review old things. And so I'm hoping that this person, realizes, wow, that was a long time ago. It's so funny to think that we've been in Seattle almost 10 years. So that's the renewing, reviewing, reviving, rejuvenating, regenerating. A lot of that is going to be happening for Virgos in the seventh house of their partnerships. And that could be business partnerships. That could be actual partnerships, like your marriages, or maybe you are divorced, right? Perhaps your ex might show up, or it could be just rejuvenating your actual marriage that you're in right now, and putting the emphasis on your partnership and marriage that you're in right now. Use this time to revive your relationships and rejuvenate them and put life back into them, because you can do that when the sun is in the seventh house. Now, I want to say this. Neptune is there, and it was right on that new moon on the 6th of March. And so over the last week or so, you might have felt some of that nebulous of Neptune, like some kind of confusion. The funny thing about Neptune, it can come out in several ways. It sometimes can come out in confusion and lies and deceit, and nebulousness, and all that type of thing. But sometimes it can come out in like a glamour, like a almost extra romance, achieving. Because I'm thinking about partnerships, right? So it could be where you're achieving the ultimate in like your partnership expectations. Perhaps you've got this, I want to say, almost spiritual relationship with your partner, and that could be a beautiful thing. Mercury is also in the seventh house right now, so you're able to communicate with your partner, and that's all partners, once again, not just marriage partners, not just your significant other, but also your business partnerships. So make sure that you really keep your eyes open to your business partnerships. Don't let anything sleep on you, because Neptune is there and you could miss certain things that you would not otherwise miss. One of the other areas of emphasis for you guys in the month of March, Virgo, is that Chiron is in Aries, and there's going to be a full moon in Libra on the 20th. And so there is some emphasis going on here between your 8th house and your 2nd house. And what that's telling me, the 8th house, where this sun in Aries is going to be on the 20th, and where Chiron is an emphasis of where perhaps other people owe you money. And so if you're due money, hopefully you'll get that money, because Chiron heals where it goes. There's wounds, yes. Perhaps you've been owed money for some time, and now it's being highlighted. But I'm hoping that this Chiron, along with the sun coming in on the 20th, and that full moon really being highlighted that day, just may jumpstart or jump kick money owed to you, or money coming to you from outside sources. And this is really indicated because the full moon is in the 2nd house. And that means the money, well, that's the moon, your emotions, and hopefully some joyful ones on money, in your actual receiving of money and what you possess. And it's Libra. And so Libra in the 2nd house, if it's, well, partnerships again, I'm thinking it's coming from partnerships. But the other thing is that it's Libras tend to mediate and negotiate, and they're willing to compromise and to do things to just to smooth things over. So you might someone might come up with a plan like, I tell you what, I can't give you all of the 10,000 I owe you now, but I'll give you 5,000 on the 20th or the 25th, and I'll give you the other 5,000 on the 15th of April. Well, if someone makes you a deal like that, take it. Okay? Because money is money, and money is coming, and I would take the money. Also, you've got some changes going on in your house uh, education, higher education. Uranus is there, which is sudden. It's out of the blue. It's like a streak of lightning happening in this area. And Mars is also there in the higher learning house. I don't know if you're in college or if you're in a university, but I could see where that could be an extra push. If you've got something that has to do with college or university, I could see where that would be an area of emphasis this month. With Uranus going there, it's going to be there for the next 7 years. So if you're thinking about doing something that could affect you for the next 7 years, and it has anything to do with education, like a university, a college, legal, any legal or legality that you're dealing with. This could include even like travel, even if it has to do with things like passports, green cards, visas, that type of thing. Political things, if you're involved in political work or government work, this is indicated there. In-laws, anything to do with your in-laws, this is highlighted there. And I'm just a religion, all dogma. So like if you're religious, if you belong to a church or a sect, that's highlighted there. You could be changing in all of these areas. There could be some significant changes going on, whether it's you travel or whether it is that you end up doing something in colleges, or you end up doing something in the legal system, or you end up doing something with the government, or any of those things. These are all indicated. Mars is here for a short time, but Uranus is going to be there for 7 years. And so that's going to be a big area of concern for you. Overall, it looks like a pretty good month where I think you've got money coming in. Okay. Next up for the reading is Libra. Libra. Hello, Libra. Hello. You've got some emphasis going on this month in the several houses, actually. First, I think I will start with the fact that you've got Venus in the 5th house in Aquarius. It has been there for a little while. It's going to be there till the end of March. With Venus in the 5th house, that's a good thing. That means you probably are flirting. I don't know to what extent you're flirting, but I could see potential flirtations afoot. And that's a good thing. Also, just could mean you're more loving with your partner, or with others, or with your children, those that you date and go out with. Nothing serious, the 5th house, but dating and that type of thing. Also, gambling. You could be lucky and taking chances. I would, in your business. You have your own business. You can smooth things over with Venus there. So it's not a bad place for it to be, especially for you, Libra. And since it's Aquarius, right? They vibe with Libra, air signs. Also, there's some emphasis in work and health. It's all throughout the month of March. You've had emphasis in your work and your health. Your health might have been affected, maybe, or your work might have been affected, maybe. And it might have began around the 6th of the month when there was a new moon in this area of Pisces. And that new moon was conjunct Neptune. So it is possible that there was some confusion with work, like the work that you do. You might find that you had to do the work, then go back over the work, or something happened in work that was confusing and was almost deceptive. And it might have even made you frustrated because you felt like you were deceived or duped. or betrayed in some way. I can see that happening in some way. Now, I can tell you how this played out with a person I know with Libra rising, and I'll see if you can relate to this. A person that I know who has Libra rising at birth is a person who works on electrical and plumbing and took on a job. And at that job, he decided to bring on a friend or a person to help him with said job because it was, running behind and he needed to get some help. And he told the person, when I finish with this job, I'll give you $900 because of the money that he was supposed to get. The problem is that the person who's paying for the job is, paying in installments, kind of nickeling and diming on the job. And this person stepped in and took the money or went directly to the boss with the money and demanded his money over, he kind of stepped over the middleman. And so the Libra rising was deceived and did not get their pay. See, things like that. That's work related. Also, you've got to think smart in the month of March because Mercury is retrograding there. So that was part of that Mercury retrograding communication. Get everything stated in writing, have everything written out, get everything as clear as possible in the area of work. Okay, that's my advice for work for you Libra risings. This also applies to your health. So if you're feeling any issues with your health, I would definitely take care of it and go and see a professional and don't let anything slide. As of for your partnerships, well, you're healing your partnerships because Chiron has gone into Aries in the 7th house of partnerships. And the thing is there, yes, it could be a little painful sometimes because you got to go through things you don't want to deal with. You might have to grow up or deal with issues that you thought you'd never have to deal with. But here it is, it's healing it. And even though it might hurt a little bit at first, and there might even be some tears at first, once you're healed, wow, it could just lead to something amazing. And I can really see this being played out on the 20th of March. This is when the full moon is in Libra. And that's going to be in your first house of the rising sign of Libra, right? The first house. But then the sun is going to be in Aries, and that's the 7th house. So the emphasis is going to be on the partner, and the sun's going to be on the partner, but your emotions are going to be on you. And so that's going to be a day that you really should be aware of in a deep way, how your emotional self is affecting your partnerships, which is outside of you. And so be aware of the 20th. And this could be all partnerships, marriage, significant other, and business. As for your money, that is also emphasized this month. Money, because Mars is going to be in the 8th house of money, and Uranus is transiting down the 8th house of money. And so in this area, you might find suddenly that people are giving you more money. If you got money coming to you, I see money coming. I do. And here's the thing. The money could come out of the blue, out of nowhere. You're thinking, wait a minute, I just got all this money. Where did it come from? If you got people that owe you, I think some may come through. Just be aware of your money and what's due to you in the month of March, and put your emphasis in it, your intention in it, and your action in it. And money could definitely come to you in the month of March. So good luck with that, Libra. Okay. All right. Next, we have the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, I love you, Scorpios. That's because for Seattle, I've got Scorpio rising. So I always love looking at what's going on with Scorpio. So the first thing I want to look at is the fact that you've got a full 5th house. Wow. So full. Ever since the 6th of the month, it's just been one thing after the other. I think when it comes to like your romantic feelings and maybe even your children. but romance in particular, there could be a little bit of confusion there, just a little bit of nebulousness there, because Neptune was conjoined that new moon on the 6th of March. The other thing is that the Mercury is there, but Mercury is retrograding. And so you're another one, I think, that is having a revival of perhaps some old relationships that were you might not even have had communication with that person, and suddenly you're talking and communicating with that person yet again. And this is what happens when Mercury retrogrades in the 5th house of romance. It's amazing. Now, this can also indicate that there could be just some miscommunication even with your children. It could indicate some possibility of miscommunication. But if you're consciously aware of it and you work on these issues, I believe that this could work out well. Now, the thing is, I wouldn't make any major gambling, risk taking, anything like that, because Mercury's retrograde and Neptune is there. And I would just wait until all of the emphasis is out. Wait till April. That's all I'm going to say, because I could just see someone putting way too much emphasis in gambling in the month of March and losing too much. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Losing too much. Okay. So Chiron is in Aries, and that is in your 6th house of work. That's your health and your work. It's healing there. Okay, so you're healing your health, you're healing your work. Hopefully you're healing your work habits if that's been an issue. But there is going to be there's going to be a full moon in Libra, which is opposing Aries on the 20th. And that full moon is in your 12th house of self-undoing. So I'm wondering what is going to be highlighted that you might be doing or might have done that could have led or could lead to self-undoing. You know, when I see the 12th house, I often think of things like our subconscious motivations. It could be the things that we do in secret. So it could be things like drugs or drinking, or it could be where we're cheating or something of that nature. It's hidden, you know what I mean? It's a hidden stuff. It's our skeletons. So the full moon is going to be on your skeletons. Your skeletons in a closet. The full moon is going to be on it. Now, it's better than having the sun on it, but it might make you emotional. It might make you feel a certain kind of way. And especially if it does tend to affect your health. So that is something to be aware of, and that could affect you on the 12th, or excuse me, on the 20th of March with the full moon in Libra and the Aries sun in, you know, the sun in Aries in the 6th house, because the 6th house is your health and the 6th house is your work, and it's going to be opposed by the moon. So I would keep a good rein on my emotions on the 20th. And finally, I'll just say that Mars and Uranus are in the 7th house, and the 7th house rules partnerships. So you may feel this push to reach out to other people during the month of March and maybe even revive old partnerships, relationships, and to fix and renew partnerships and relationships. And there might be certain new partnerships and relationships. And all of this could come into play during the month of March. So please be aware of these things, Scorpio. Well, this has been my reading for you. Wow, where did we start? Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. And I'm wishing all of you a wonderful rest of the month and even better April. Much love and light to you all. Bye now.